YouTubers, what's going on with you? It's not just white boys or white men who act and dress like hip hop or basically try to act black. You know, everybody knows that white boys or white men have been doing it for a while now. Like ever since, the Jamie Kennedy era, the Eminem era, the Vanilla Ice era. I mean, you can go as far as back to the Beastie Boys. When the Beastie Boys was like the lone, I think, hip hop white group, that was going against the grain, against like what Public Enemy and Run DMC and, NWA and Eric B and Rakim, pretty much, the golden age of hip hop, as most people like to call it. So, over the past 2 decades, you've had this evolution, mutation of white men who feel that they're black, and but it's not just white boys and white men. Hispanic men do it too. They try to act black and try to, you know, dress and act like hip hop and whatnot. Matter of fact, when I was living in San Antonio about a couple years ago, this was like during my high school days, like I think grade 10 to grade 11, I believe. Um, back in Texas when Slim Thug was hot, Mike Jones was hot, Paul Wall was hot. The whole chop and screw was like in full effect in Texas back then. But anyway, the school I was going to at the time, um, there was a lot of Hispanics that were acting black. Seriously, there were a lot of Hispanics that were acting black, trying to, act tough, look tough, act all gangster, right? And basically, talk and dress up like hip hop. You know what I mean? Try to come up to you all buff and everything. And man, the way these Hispanic boys was acting, man, you would have been like, man, these guys need an Oscar nomination for their performances, for real. But a lot of Hispanic boys, the ones that I went to school with, they was on some Tupac juice for real. I mean, seriously. I mean, these guys, it's like they listen to Tupac so much, you would have thought they knew the guy personally. Like, seriously. I mean, these guys was on some Tupac high. They was saying some stuff like, no, Tupac ain't dead, son. Tupac lives. He's alive. I mean, seriously. These guys was... I mean, you talk about Tupac, man, these Hispanic boys, they felt like they knew the guy. And not only that, I had some Hispanic boys, they was all hip hop, they had hip hop knowledge and all that good stuff. They was trying to egg me on and trying to get me to rap. I don't know if that happened to you guys when y'all was in school, but I had a lot of Hispanic, friends try to get me to rap. And I'm like, I can't rap. I'm no rapper. I don't even have that type of gift. It is what it is. But nevertheless, they still try to get me to do it anyway. And if that wasn't the case, I had a Hispanic friend who was, he was trying to act black as well. And he was putting me on game with hip hop CDs. Real talk. This dude was burning me CDs, sending me like hip hop CDs back in the day, like, T.I.'s Urban Legend, Little John's Crunk Juice, Snoop Dogg's Rhythm and Gangster, K West, The College Dropout. I think he sent me some other ones as well. But yeah, this dude was putting me on game with hip hop. Real talk. So, Hispanic boys, they've been doing it too. So, I don't understand why, white boys, they get way too much credit when it comes to acting like black boys or whatever. But the school I went to, for real, and it wasn't, and I'm going to talk about the girls for a minute. The girls, of course, the black girls, you had like Hispanic and white girls trying to act like black girls, try to have the attitude, the swag, the, that aggressiveness that a black girl has. They was trying to do it. A lot of white girls, they was trying to dance like black girls. Heck, they'll even go as far as to come on YouTube and try to dance like them too. Real talk. They'll try to do the whole twerk, or matter of fact, I think there's some videos on YouTube showing white girls trying to basically dance like black girls. it is what it is. So black people, we are worshipped beyond recognition. But the problem is nobody wants to be us when the real stuff hits the fan. But when it comes down to the nitty gritty of what black people have to go through, if these so-called black, so-called wannabe black people go through the struggles that black men and black women go through, if they even go through a sample of what black men and black women go through, they won't last long. B-Rad, he'll go back to being Steven, What's up, B-Rad? No, I'm not B-Rad anymore. I'm Steven. Daddy, this black boy's trying to harass me. Then the black boy runs away, goes home, right? Meanwhile, the white girl who tries to act like a black girl or a young black woman, she'll go back to being Britney with blonde hair. You know what I mean? She'll go back to acting, being the rich girl, lives in the suburbs with her parents always complaining. She got everything in the world, and most of the kids that didn't have much, she should be blessed, but she's not. That type of thing. But the school I was going to, everybody was worshiping blacks. Young, black kids or young black boys and girls. At my school, the school I was going to, you would have thought it was one big happy interracial family. Real talk. I have never seen black people be so worshipped in my life. Seriously. We're worshipped, but at the same time, we're the most hated. Very interesting indeed. So, it is what it is. I just had to talk about it for a minute. Had to share it with you guys. Definitely want to know how you guys feel about it. And until next time, you guys have a blessed day. Y'all take it easy. Peace.